This is a foodie. He's there. What a wild rally. We're still going. We're not going anymore.
Welcome everybody back to the channel. PPA Virginia Beach is a wrap. We're going to get up to speed on everything that went down out there. But first, we've got a few channel announcements. We have hit our goal, 1,000 subs. We did it, folks. That means monetization. So if you want to support what I'm doing, please consider subscribing and liking this video. It helps out a lot. In fact, we have already made an estimated $3. This is this is lunch-changing money for me. Pretty soon I'll be able to afford to buy guacamole with my burrito. So thanks to everybody who subscribes and follow me along. Second, the PPA has actually given me their blessing to use their content on this channel. In exchange, I'm just supposed to tell you guys to go check out pickleballcentral.com. In fact, while you're there, you can use code MattyP1024. We'll put that up right here. That'll get you a discount up to 20% depending on what you're buying. And if you're concerned that this means I've been bought out by Big Pickle, I have some good news and bad news for you. The bad news is that happened a long time ago. I already sold my soul to Big Pickle. I've done some work in the past for the APP. My aunt runs the pro tour there. My dad's an owner of Major League Pickleball. So if anything, this actually might help to balance me out. You know, would you rather have somebody who hasn't been bought by anybody or somebody who's been bought by everybody? It all balances out in the end. With all that out of the way, let's get to the actual show. We'll start off in the round of 16 with James Ignatowicz and Christian Alshon, a new pairing that has pretty high expectations. It's probably expecting to make some noise. Get a tough matchup here against Riley Newman and Rafa Hewitt. Riley Newman is playing really well right now. Rafa having a little bit of an up and down year. And of course, Coach Lee Waters in her Gucci is watching on. She, of course, coaches Christian Alshon. They got it tied up at 10-10, but they just had some struggles with some thirds there. James into the net. They floated a few. They just got absolutely demolished too. And at 11-11 is where we get a controversial moment. Now, we have the technology, we have close call replay, but with the limited number of challenges, sometimes there's just nothing you could do about it if your opponent calls it out. And this one appears to be in. They have ditched the 25% rule that we talked about a few weeks ago, which is good. Just kind of down to a common sense ruling. However, no challenges, can't challenge it. And that would end up being very important as Riley and Rafa get the win over Jimmy and Christian. How about that? This was a progressive draw event, so we will just keep moving along day by day, going over any interesting matchups. And here we have got a mixed doubles quarterfinal, Riley Newman, Jackie Kawamoto against Christian Alshon and Catherine Parento. Christian and Catherine trying to close this out in game 2. Can't get it done on the first, second, third, or fourth match points. Let's see how they fare on the fifth. Here we're going to see Christian Alshon hyper aggressive, maybe overextending just a little too much, getting things twisted up. Just going to maybe just chill out just a little bit. This sixth attempt, an ATP, Jackie Kawamoto defends. She was so solid down the stretch. And they're able to defend their sixth match point with an epic out call from Riley Newman. The seventh and eighth match points dumped into the net by Christian and Catherine. On the ninth attempt, Riley Newman with that two-hit backhand, getting Christian chicken-winged. 10th match point into the net, and oh my goodness, can they complete the comeback? Well, as a matter of fact, they certainly can. Riley Newman crashing off the Jackie Kawamoto drop. We're going to a game 3. If you missed this match, go ahead and watch the whole thing on the PPA YouTube channel. It's worth checking out. Very well could be the match of the year, and it's going to end with Christian Alshon off the net and out with the paddle slam. Just an absolutely epic comeback from Jackie and Riley. And you gotta love Riley Newman showing some love for Jackie. Moving along, we stay with the quarterfinals. We've got a potential upset brewing here. Tyra and Elise Jones trying to take out Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrbacher. They challenged that unsuccessfully. That would be important down the stretch. On match point for Rachel and Anna, Tyra counter, clips the net, going to get the put away. And on the next rally, this would be very important, trying to tie it up. We're going to get an out call. Remember, they already used that last challenge unsuccessfully, so they could not challenge this one. We saw this already earlier in this video. We saw this 2 weeks ago when Anna and Rachel played against Anna Lee and Catherine in the final. You gotta save those challenges. I mean, it's important. That is the game within the game. We have the technology. Is there a way we can maybe get more calls right with more stoppages? I don't know. Is it worth it? It's an interesting topic of conversation. Regardless, Tyra and Elise did not go down easily. They put up a fight. They fended off a lot of match points, not quite as many as Riley and Jackie in the earlier segment, but still, this was another absolutely epic match. Here, after some trademark defense from Elise Jones running off the side of the court, we're going to just take a listen to the crowd. Absolutely nothing gets these people going like a net cord on a tight rally late in the match. And after a few more dinks, we get a Hurricane Tyra Black trigger pull, and Elise Jones not quite there on the reset. And a few rallies later, it is Anna and Rachel getting the win. Elise Jones into the net, sends the paddle flying. Another great match. The final quarterfinal match of the day featured the Johns brothers against Deckel Barr and Hunter Johnson. And the Johns bros were not too happy about the lighting situation on these courts, apparently. There were so many long matches, play started to bleed into the evening. And if you watch this match on YouTube, it is incredibly jarring because you have no idea what's going on. You see the Johns brothers walk over to the bench looking a little frustrated, and then before you know it, boom, it's daytime and we're playing game 3. Now, there were a lot of takes on Twitter about this. You know, this is just classic Johns bros getting special treatment. Could any other players ask for their match to be delayed after it already started and actually get away with it? Who's to say, really? You know, you can form your own opinion on that. And hey, this seemed to work out for them all right because they're going to get the game 3 pickle winner off the net from Colin Johns. And we are on to the semifinals now. Here we've got Hunter Johnson looking to pull off the upset on Federico Staxford. Hunter Johnson coming off his first career PPA gold medal just 2 weeks ago. Defeated Connor Garnett in that Championship Sunday match, who he actually beat in the quarterfinals to get here. But anyway, Hunter was playing absolutely lights out, just hitting so many great shots, winning a little hands battle at the kitchen. Paris Todd loves, but she's seeing a little round of applause. Hunter is actually going to get his way up to an 8-0 lead here, and that would be enough to get this game done. Federico would make it close, but in the end, Hunter takes this, and he would just kind of continue more of this into game 2. Hunter Johnson with the upset, going to go on to face Ben Johns on Championship Sunday. That's all the semifinals we're going to show. Let's go and just jump right into Sunday. And what a difference a couple of weeks can make. We talked with Anna Bright about how they were able to pull off this upset last time. This was the pattern that I thought was most significant. Rachel Rohrbacher attacking cross court at Catherine Parento. Didn't really work as well this time. And I also talked about how important it is to get off to a good start against Annalie Waters and Catherine Parento. They're a team that comes out hot. They like to get up to big leads early and never look back. And in games 1 and 3, they just got off to really good starts and just never really felt like the vibe was there. I talked with Anna about this. Last time, there just felt like a different energy, and for whatever reason, you just didn't feel that this time. And all the credit in the world to AL and Catherine for bouncing back, coming up with maybe a new strategy. They also played more straight up. Catherine was on the left side significantly more. There she is getting the ATP. What a shot. So after this bounce back win, we'll see how long this next win streak goes for Catherine and AL.
Performance, Catherine Parento and Annalie Waters say, give me my crown back.
On to men's singles, Hunter Johnson looking to get his second career gold medal against Ben Johns, a tough task. And hey, here's that clip from the beginning showing off my editing skills. How about it, folks? I mean, is this cool? Does this show you information, or is this just me, I don't know, wasting time and procrastinating? Actually making this video by doing weird editing stuff. Let me know if you like this. I think it's kind of cool. Anyway, Ben was able to take game 1, and in game 2, it was actually Hunter Johnson who had a significant lead, leading 8-3 here. However, Ben was able to turn it on. He started finding the right shots, clipping the back line there. And again, just moving so well, especially up at that kitchen line, keeping Hunter back, and he's able to close it out here. So Ben Johns, gold medal. Still though, Hunter Johnson taking the silver after getting a gold. I mean, he is playing some really, really good pickleball right now. Moving along, we have men's doubles, Ben and Colin Johns with a pretty big game 1 lead against Federico Staxford and Hayden Patriquin. Hayden Patriquin and Federico Staxford have never lost together. They've only played one tournament, and they did win a gold medal in that. We'll blow through some dinking before we get a little bit of a backhand speed up from Ben. And Hayden, it's just like a scorpion kind of thing. He's on it. Counter goes wide. And all of a sudden, Hayden and Fed are making moves. Got it tied at 9-9 here. Look how far over Hayden is coming from the right side of the court, putting things away with the backhand. We're seeing more and more of this. Gabe Tardio's doing it. Christian Alshon's doing it. And they are able to come all the way back and steal game 1. They would drop the next 2, and they were trailing 9-3 against the Bros in the deciding game 4. Remember this score? And that's when things started to get really interesting. After seeing a 9-3 lead turn into a 9-7 lead, the Johnsbros decided they needed a timeout, but they forgot to actually call the timeout.
Wild swings continue.
Second technical warning for delay of game.
Oh.
That's a point deduct.
A warning had previously been issued to both teams, so this wasn't completely out of the blue. Apparently this is also a point of emphasis, but still, it is undoubtedly a very big moment to be making such a pedantic, ticky-tack call. So if you want to say the Johnsbros get special treatment, canceling their matches if they don't like the lighting, just remember this moment too. So should this have been called in this moment? I mean, there's not another sport on the planet where you can just walk off the court. Just call a timeout like a normal person and it doesn't happen. Back to the pickleball, and you can see Hayden Fed now on an 8-1 scoring run. After this firefight, a 9-1 scoring run. They just rode this wave all the way. Hayden again coming all the way over from the right. Here, Hayden right down the middle, and shades of Bristol when Christian Alshon hit a ball and Colin did not go for it. Ben not looking too pleased with his brother there. Things are continuing to spiral. We have a 13-1 run, a body bag, and here is how you call a timeout. Colin Johns learning from his mistakes. Got to give the man credit for that. The vibe shift after that point deduction was just remarkable. I mean, the Johnsbros just looked out of sorts. Their chemistry, their body language was terrible. Here, Colin trying an Ernie. Bros called this one out, but upon further review, close call replay, gotta love it. That is on the line. This scoring run is up to 15-1. Are the Johnsbros going to get pickled here? Okay, so they didn't get pickled, but Fed and Hayden do get it done in 5. What a moment.
In a 5-game thriller, the undefeated duo of Hayden Patriquin and Federico Staxrud have entered 2 tournaments, and they have won 2 tournaments, coming from the brink of disaster.
How much belief do you have in this partnership?
A ton of belief. We keep talking about chemistry. You know, Fed and I always go golf. We drill. I think chemistry is the most important, and we have it. We're lovers.
You were down. Wow.
So that's all I have as far as clips go, but there's a few other things I do want to point out. We're going to try to get a little fancy with it here, so bear with me. I think I'm still here. There we go. Here we've got the rest of the winner's circle. J-Dub and Dylan did get a bronze. In women's doubles here, we've got Georgia and Mari Humbert. They've been playing really well lately, too. In mixed doubles, Riley and Jackie took home the bronze. Women's singles, Brooke Buckner actually managed to get a game off Annalie Waters, lost in 3. Kate Fahey with another bronze. And it was Jaume Martinez-Vick taking home the bronze in men's singles. Elsewhere, outside of the championship circle, in men's singles, there were some interesting results. Here we have Jonathan Medina Alvarez making it all the way to the round of 16. A name I wasn't familiar with, John Lucian Goins, made it to the round of 16 as well. Max Green, the 42 seed, took out J.W. Johnson and Zane Navratil all the way to the quarterfinals where he fell to Ben. Hunter Johnson and Connor Garnett in the quarterfinals as well. You may recall that was actually last week's championship Sunday match. Hunter Johnson again coming out on top in this one. In men's doubles, Max Freeman and Casey Diamond making it all the way to the quarterfinals. This has been a matchup to watch. J-Dub and Dylan back on top of Gabe and Andre here. Bobby Hewitt, little hit or miss this year. This is certainly a very good result for him, in fact. And now I'm just showing off. This is Rafa Hewitt's first semifinal appearance in gender doubles in at least the last 2 years. So close to getting a medal, which has eluded him. How cool is this, by the way? If you want to see these charts for anybody else, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to include them next time. In the round of 16, a little bit of an upset here. Tina Pisnik and Vivian David dropping one to Chow Yu-Wing and Brooke Buckner. They would eventually fall to Leia and Callie, who would finish in 4th place. In women's singles, here we are in the round of 16. Chow Yu-Wang getting a win over Catherine Parento. Jeannie Bouchard almost getting a win over Salome Davidze, 12-10 in the 3rd. Would have been her first quarterfinal appearance. I'm willing to bet. Actually, let's check. That would have been her 2nd career quarterfinals appearance. These 3 kind of feel like the top 3 players right now to me. Probably put Leia Jansen as like my 4th pick. Leia is an interesting case where she's not really as consistent as you can see here in making it to the finals. Last year, she made 7 of 11. This year, she's only made it 3 of 18 times. However, she's actually broken through and got some golds. Brooke Buckner in singles, you can see her medals here. Since June, there were a few tournaments. Annalie Waters didn't play, made the most of those, now getting a silver. And while we're here, we'll check out Kate Fahey, advancing at a pretty good rate here. 4 medals to her name, including the 1 gold. And last, we've got mixed doubles. Let's see if we can find anything interesting here. Hunter Johnson, Paris Todd been playing really well lately, but Gabe Tardio and Jesse Irvin too much. Colin Schick and Brooke Buckner getting a win and pickling Tyson McGuffin and Jade Kawamoto. Lauren Stratman and Julian Arnold with a big win over Anna Bright and Andre Diescu. That's notable. Anna Bright might be seeing some partner hopping from her again going forward. But the other thing I want to talk about is there are only 3 more tournaments before we have the PPA finals. We have actually have a tournament next week in Las Vegas, which we already did. In fact, I was at that one. I guess we're doing it again. There are 2 opens and 1 slam. Of course, this is how many points you can earn for a gold before the PPA CIBC finals, which are the finals, but they're not even the last event of the year. So remember, the thing to keep in mind for this is there is a points race that is going on. How this works is the top 8 players and teams for each event are accumulating points this whole season, and we'll see who can make the cut for finals. Here's how points are awarded. Again, remember we have 2 of these cups and 1 slam before the finals. So there's a chance at most for a player to get an additional 4,000 points. So let's take a look at the rankings and see who is going to make the cut here. For men's doubles, remember it's the top 8 teams. So we can actually scroll all the way down here to the 16th place team. That is right around where the cutoff is. Thomas Wilson. Can assume he probably will not be able to participate. It's surprising to see James on the outside of this and Zane Navratil. Definitely enough opportunities to get into that top 16, but there's a lot of ground for Zane and James to make up here. In mixed doubles, very competitive, only 8, because the top 8 teams, of course, means 8 men and a women. Again, once you take out Thomas Wilson, the cutoff line extends right here to where Hayden Patriquin is. And man, it's crazy. Gabe Tardio, as good as he's been in mixed lately. On the outside looking in, Riley Newman, who is back. By the way, I'm obsessed with saying somebody is back. It's just my thing, I guess. Who's going to get that last spot? That's pretty interesting. So something to keep an eye on for as you're watching PPA tournaments the next couple weeks. And of course, men's singles, Kwang Duong and Christian Alshon are right at that cutoff of 7 and 8. However, they've both been withdrawing from a lot of events, especially Christian lately. Would not be at all surprised to see Hunter Johnson get in here, especially with how good he's been playing lately. Maybe a guy like Chris Hayworth can give 1 more gold medal, climb these rankings a little bit. Bit of a down year for J.W. Johnson in singles. And just generally had a better rate of making it to the semifinals, 4 of 11, compared to just 1 of 8 this year. Now moving along to women's doubles. Again, top 16 teams from here will make it, so we can scroll down here. Looks like Elise Jones is right on the cutoff, and man, the Kawamotos are right there, knocking on the door. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see them break in. Mari Humberg's been playing so well with Georgia Johnson, so this is also another one that's really competitive, especially there's kind of a gap here, right at Vivian David. This whole group right here is something to keep an eye on. Women's mix, the top 8 will make it in. Some really good players on the outside looking in here. In last in women's singles, also just take a look at how far ahead Annalie Waters is here. These little charts, which kind of show how far you progress, they're supposed to be shaped like a funnel, as you kind of have some attrition. But she, of course, just breaks them. And as you can see, she's good. What the hell is this? What are you supposed to do about that? Right on the cutoff line, Kate Fahey. Kate Fahey's got to find a way in there, right? Only recently switched full-time to pickleball. So that's about where we are on the PPA points race. And what I've also got some little bonus fun charts for y'all. This right here is the data set. That Koopy Nation, the legend, the man, the myth, ODOT, the Koopy Nation sends me this data set, and I just kind of run that through my Power BI, which I've been showing y'all here, and we throw that thing into Excel. What we were just looking at the PPA website is the total points. I'm looking at average points per tournament. I'm treating every single event the same. They have slams that are worth 2,000. They have opens only worth 1,000. To me, they all just feel the same. I talked to Anna Bright a few weeks ago after she beat Annalie Waters in the gold medal match, and she kind of agreed with me. They all feel the same. And there's also normalizers for people like Kate Fahey who haven't played as many but are playing really well when they do play. She's actually number 2 in average points per tournament in women's singles. You can see over here on the right, we're doing the same thing for men's singles. And if we move one slide forward, on the top are stock risers year over year and our stock falling. What jumps out to you here? Who's surprising to you? I think there's been a new wave of players like Brooke Buckner, Caitlin Christian, and Kate Fahey who have kind of jumped ahead of Catherine Parento, maybe knocked her down a tier. On the men's side, we can see Ben not been as dominant as he was years past. Last year, he won 11 of 16. This year, he's won 7 of 13 in singles. Federico Staksrud, of course, has been the story of the year in singles. Really just remarkable. Made it to 15 of 19 finals that he has played in singles. Also breaking through in gender doubles, even making a final in mixed. I think of all players across the entire PPA Tour, he's probably the one that has impressed the most this year relative to at least my expectations coming in. Here we've got all doubles. You can pause if you want to take a closer look at this. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll probably be sharing these charts there. I'd like to get some discussion going. Not surprised to see guys like Gabe Tardio in mixed and men's, Andre Diescu as well, Christian Alshon. On the women's side, Rachel Rohrbacher getting to pair with Anna Bright. They've been doing very well. I think this is pretty interesting. I also think maybe I could break up 2024 into like first half and second half of the year. Really just see who's in good form right now. So that does it for my PPA recap. But looking at the calendar, like we mentioned, next week there's another PPA. We already did the whole Vegas thing, but I guess we're doing it again. There's also an APP next week. There was an APP women's only event this week. There's an MLP next week. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a quick little MLP preview right now, and then tune in next week. I think we're going to recap the APP Women's Open and the APP Dallas event. Then the following week, we'll do a little PPA and MLP recap. I don't know. I'm going to try. There's just so much. It's just a lot. What can one man do? So yeah, I guess let's talk MLP. Just a quick reminder, these are the standings. You probably already know all this, but there's a very clear top 6 and bottom 6 right now. The bottom 6 teams are going to try to break through, but it's probably not going to happen. It looks like everybody but New York and DC will be in attendance. So can LA right here or Carolina make up any of this difference right here? This is where the 6th place team is projected, right around 37 or 38 points. And here's where the 7th place team is projected right now. Can they make up this gap? That's going to be what we're going to have to keep an eye on. So with that in mind, I think the most interesting matches to watch this week are going to be the matches involving those teams. And of course, the matches involving the top teams, because there is a lot at stake for the top teams fighting for seeding. If you get the 1 seed or 2 seed, you get a bye. Also, the higher seed in each round of the playoffs gets to make all of these selections reacting to the lineups, which is a pretty big advantage if you think about it, reacting to the mixed lineups and to the Dream Breakers. They also get to choose who they play. If you're the 3 seed, you could pick if you want to play the 5 seed or the 6 seed in the playoffs. The matches, of course, that I will be most interested in personally are the ones involving the Ranchers. The Ranchers will be playing, get this, the New Jersey Fives, who are the top team right now, in my opinion. They will also be playing the St. Louis Shock. And they will be playing my rivals, the Dallas Flash, who I very much hate and hope loses every single match they ever play again. Texas plays the 3 teams ahead of them in the standings. I mean, as much as that kind of stinks, having a hard strength of schedule, you control your own destiny. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. One other thing to note, too, is that the LA Mad Drops have subbed in Jaume Martinez-Vic for Thomas Wilson. Jaume had a tough outing going 2-8 at the last MLP event in a sub role for the Columbus Sliders, but maybe LA is a little more motivated, higher up in the standings. Maybe that'll give them enough juice to make up some of this gap here. With that, just a few other things I want to talk about. I wanted to do a mailbag, but I just don't think I have time this week. We'll get to that in the future. But could you go check out on Twitter? We did a little redraft of the MLP just for fun. We're going to be doing a recap video of that in the future. Also, another channel for y'all to check out. Go check out my buddy Paul's YouTube channel. I just stumbled across this. I noticed he's played some games at the Pickle Ranch, which, by the way, they are another sponsor of this video that I almost forgot to mention. So I invited him to come out and play. We got some games in with my dad. I had one great moment. I had a lot of not so great moments. Go check it out. Give him a like, give him a sub if you're into that kind of thing. I've got a few other fun little projects working on. We're going to get a live stream scheduled against my brother to celebrate 1,000 subs, trying to get some good guests to do some commentary. And yeah, thanks everybody.